Hey Dave, hey Brian. Hey, I'm gonna show you a real quick simple so as you said in your email, you've got G10 on this side. Or I don't know where you added it on yours. It's different on every person's login. So in particular, I went into the one that you had an example. That one's fine. That's the color. This one here. So what you'll see when you come into a color one, a attribute set, you will see somewhere within there. You should see G10. And if you don't see G10, then yep, so it's not in there. So you added it into that product through the that side avenue. So you added it in here. It's not going to feed into the feed because you need to make sure that that specific item has it in the attribute sets. So what you have to do is you have to come down to stores and attribute sets. And unfortunately, there's 154 records. Not all of them are going to be ones that you're looking for, but in particular, when you go to the product itself, you'll be able to see what attribute set is on that for that product. So we'll go ahead and find color. I'm going to go into this one, and on this left hand corner, on the right hand corner, all the way over here, we're going to go to the very bottom because G10 is going to be down, sitting down at the bottom down there. What I would recommend doing is just dragging it and putting it right into this spot right here. Then that way, when you go into the product itself, you'll be able to see it. So at this point right now, you're ready to now add it in. So unfortunately, what you added in there before wasn't going to actually add it to the list. So now that it's there, now you can come back into products, and we'll go to that one that we just looked at, which was color, this one here. And you'll see it sitting right here. Um, in order for it to reflect and be added into the system, you have to make sure that it's part of that. I think that most likely the way that this grid system works, it's just a flaw. There's probably would have been an error in the background that you probably didn't see that it may have added it, but it won't add it into the feed. So let me go into I'm going to find the one that you added in just 1 second. So what we're seeing here is you got your G10 in here, and because I just added the color to that attribute set, I'm not sure why this must be, it's kind of strange because then when you go into edit the product, what you're going to find is it's not going to show up there. So don't don't do what you did that way. You got to do it the other way. I'm not sure why it's blowing up like that. The only thing I can think of is, let me look at store view. So I didn't actually add that in yet. Let's see if it actually adds it into that location. So it's not there either. So like I said, you got to add it in once the attribute set is set in stone. Um, so what I would suggest, maybe, you know what, I don't know how long ago you added it, but it may add in on its own just because it's not, the system hasn't gone through the reindexing process. I have that reduced to something like every 25 or 30 minutes. Um, so let me real quick reindex and see if it's. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add a G10 to a product that is disabled, so it won't show up in the feed, but I'm just going to test it and see if it shows up after I add it in without it being an attribute set, just to prove that we need to make sure. So what would have been great is that in that label product that it would have automatically added it into the attribute set, but it did not. And so the next step is will it show up if I added it into the attribute set now after a reindex? So I'm going to try that. Select surgical label style. That's the one that we were just looking at. Now, not all of the products are going to be different. So the majority of your products probably or should be at least set to the default. So you might not need to, but you're still going to have to search for it in the back end of Magento and see which one it's in. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to do the reindex. So the thing it doesn't do is it does not save it into the G10 if you add it into that panel. So really the only way you can do it is make sure it's in the attribute set ahead of time, because you can see it didn't save it on my end. So what you'll see is it's not in there, and then I'll just have to add it in. And then once that's done, then it'll actually add it into the feed at that point, because it's in the attribute set. So it almost like it's almost like it's not it almost like it separates itself. See, once I added it into the attribute set, it's almost like it wipes out the data. So now it's in there for good. I added it and saved it, and it's staying. So hopefully it doesn't confuse you guys too much. But so basically, we have to double check to make sure that the G10 is in the correct attribute set before you add it in.